Have you ever felt like English is just not for you? Like no matter how hard you try, books feel boring, movies go over your head, and speaking? That's a nightmare. Well, you're not alone. I've been there. I know exactly how frustrating it feels. But what if I told you that the real problem isn't you, it's the way we try to learn? In today's video, I'm going to share my real journey, what I tried, what failed, what finally worked, and how you can start improving your English today. And the best part? While you're listening to this story, you'll also be learning English the natural way, without textbooks, without boring grammar lessons. So stay with me till the end, because I promise, it's going to change the way you look at English. Alright, now let's dive into the real stuff. Before we get into practical tips, I want to walk you through a little backstory, my personal English learning journey. Trust me, it wasn't smooth sailing. So, first off, I didn't grow up around English speakers. At all. No one in my family or neighborhood spoke English. I wasn't one of those lucky kids whose parents casually dropped phrases like, "Can you pass me the remote?" in perfect English. Nope. My environment was 100% non-English. Now fast forward to today, where even little kids have some exposure. Maybe a cousin who's fluent, or a YouTube cartoon shouting, "Let's go," in perfect American accent. But back then, nothing like that. And guess what else? I didn't have access to the internet like kids do now. Yep, I'm what you'd call a 2003 born relic. Back in those days, having a smartphone was like owning a spaceship. Internet? Forget it. It was a luxury. I had to borrow my dad's phone, ask for permission, and half the time he didn't even know how to use it either. Classic parental restrictions mode, you get the idea. And trust me, the internet back then wasn't the shiny, fast-loading magic we have today. Searching for tutorials or online courses felt like digging for treasure, blindfolded. It was rough. So that was me, growing up clueless about English, and trying to figure things out the hard way. By the time I hit my teens, I started hearing the same old advice everyone throws around. Go join a spoken English class, watch Hollywood movies, read more English books. And yep, I tried. Well, most of it. I skipped the spoken English classes because hello, social anxiety, but I did binge movies, a lot. Still, let's be real, half the time I barely understood what was going on. Watching Iron Man without subtitles? Felt like I was watching a documentary in Martian. These days, watching stuff in English feels natural to me, but back then? Oh man, it was a total struggle. So, I stuck with dubbed movies. Yup, I was that person who watched everything in my native language. And honestly, I didn't feel guilty about it either. At least I understood the plot, got some laughs, and walked away happy. That's all that mattered to me. Back then, the idea of watching a movie in English felt like mental gymnastics. So I didn't even try. I kept things comfortable, safe, and well, not very helpful for learning. Then came books. Oh yes. Those dreaded English books. I gave them a shot, believe me. But every time I opened one, it felt like trying to decode alien messages. I couldn't stick with it. It was boring, frustrating, and honestly, I just didn't get it. I mean, if I couldn't understand basic English, how was I supposed to enjoy a book? Eventually, I got fed up. I told myself, that's it. English just isn't for me. I made up my mind, no more trying. I was done. I figured I'd just live my life in my comfort zone, without ever needing to speak English. And then, life happened. I landed my first real job. It was a startup based in the US, and the founder? Native English speaker. The entire team? Speaking only English. No one spoke my language, not even a single phrase. Suddenly, I was dropped into a full English world. No subtitles, no translation, just me and panic. Those early days were rough. I could do the job. I had the skills, I knew my stuff, I could build backends and write clean code. But the moment I had to explain my work, I froze. I struggled to form sentences. I couldn't express my ideas clearly. And that's when it hit me hard. That was my wake-up call. I realized two major things. 1. English isn't just a nice to have, it's crucial for growth and career success. 2. If I wanted to move forward, I had no choice. I had to improve my English. So, I started small. Really small. I began talking to friends in basic English. Nothing fancy. Just things like, "Hey bro, good morning. What's up? How's your day going?" Simple stuff, but that's how it began. The second thing I did was, well, a bit bold. I started making videos in English. So one day, I thought, why not try making videos in English? And no, it wasn't to go viral or get a global audience. Honestly, I wasn't chasing views or fame. I just wanted to improve my English. That's it, purely for practice. No fancy goals, just growth. But let's be real, it didn't go as planned. I eventually stopped making those videos. Why? Because every time I hit record, I froze. My thoughts were all over the place. My words fumbled, and suddenly the camera felt like a judgmental robot staring into my soul. If you're a content creator, you'll understand. There's nothing more awkward than struggling to speak in front of your own camera. It wasn't smooth at all. I took breaks. I felt frustrated. There were days I seriously doubted myself. But here's the twist. This is when the real shift started. Instead of focusing on performance, I began focusing on input. I made a simple rule for myself. If I'm learning something, it's gotta be in English. I'm not talking about watching movies or sitcoms. Nah, I still prefer watching movies in my native language, because let's face it, entertainment should feel relaxing, not like a language test. What changed was this. All my learning content, motivational videos, business talks, programming tutorials, marketing tips, I consumed all of that in English. Every single day. And slowly, that daily exposure began working its magic. I picked up new vocabulary without even trying. I started noticing different tones, sentence patterns, and natural expressions people used. Over time, my own speech changed. Just one example. I used to say, so, a lot. Like, every other sentence started with, so. It was basically my default word. But now, I can barely spot a so, even when I'm editing my own videos. Why? Because I learned better alternatives, just by listening and absorbing real English from real people. That small habit, switching my learning input to English, turned out to be a game changer. Third thing, script practice. And oh boy, let me tell you a real story from my life that proves how powerful this is. So, I once joined a startup accelerator program hosted by Hatchworks. It was in Sri Lanka, pretty exciting stuff. Now, imagine this. I was asked to pitch my startup in front of some of the most innovative, sharp-minded entrepreneurs and investors around. People who breathe startups. And yep, all of them were fluent English speakers. Now here's the thing. Before that event, I had never stepped into a startup community before. I'd never presented in front of such a big English-speaking crowd. But deep down, I wanted to do it. I wanted to be that person on stage, mic in hand, confidently pitching my idea with a giant screen behind me. You know, like in those cool TED Talk videos. So, I started preparing. I practiced my pitch script every day for 10 days straight. Non-stop, even in the final hour before the pitch, I was pacing around, rehearsing lines. Fun fact? That pitch script was actually written by my girlfriend. Yup, she helped me put it together. And back then, my English? Not great, but the real magic wasn't in how perfect the pitch was. The magic was in the practice. Repeating that script over and over helped me build confidence, improve pronunciation, and actually understand what I was saying. It was like language gym for my brain. That experience taught me something valuable. Script practice works. Now, will it work for you the same way? Maybe, maybe not, but you'll never know unless you try. For me, it was a total game changer. And then came the next big leap, pitching to clients. Look, if you're running a business, one thing is clear. No clients, no income. And clients don't wait around for you to find the right words. You have to speak up, present well, and build trust, all through communication. So slowly, as I started talking to clients in English, something interesting happened. I stopped overthinking grammar and started communicating. My vocabulary expanded, my confidence grew, and I adapted without even realizing it. Now don't get me wrong, it didn't happen overnight. But little by little, it clicked. Because when your survival depends on English, you learn. You grow. You speak. That's just how it works. And now, the fourth and most important thing, consistency versus perfection. Let me paint a quick picture for you. Imagine if, on day one, I had told myself, you know what? I'm not good at English, so I won't make videos in English. What do you think would have happened? Exactly, nothing. Zero progress. No growth. And definitely, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. I would have remained stuck, silently doubting myself instead of speaking out. But I made a different choice. I chose consistency over perfection. I didn't care about sounding like a native speaker or using fancy words. I just wanted to express what's in my head, my thoughts, my ideas, in the best way I could. No filters, no pressure. And here's something you might find interesting. I'm not reading from a script right now. Nope, I just have a few bullet points on the side of my screen to keep me on track. That's it. Everything else? It's straight from my mind to you, unfiltered and real. You know why I'm telling you this? Because I want you to stop chasing perfect English. Seriously, you don't need to speak like a textbook to be understood. You don't need flawless grammar to connect with people. Trust me, even today, I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. But that doesn't stop me. Every single Monday, without fail, I show up. I record. I speak. Whether I'm tired, busy, or someone leaves a rude comment, I still speak in English. Every Monday. And not just for this video. I speak with clients, in meetings, in day-to-day communication. English is part of my routine now, not because I mastered it, but because I kept showing up. That's the real secret. If you're consistent, you'll get better. Maybe slowly, maybe awkwardly, but you will improve. That's what worked for me, and I believe it can work for you too. So here we are, wrapping up this journey with a few key lessons I've learned along the way. Lesson number 1. Start small. You don't need to make big moves on day one. Just take the first step, even if it's something as simple as saying, hello, in English. That's how it begins. Lesson 2. Find what works for you. Just because something worked for me doesn't mean it'll work for you, and that's completely okay. We're all different. Try the methods I mentioned, experiment with your own ideas, and see what clicks. If nothing works right away, don't stop, dig deeper. There's a sea of resources on YouTube, podcasts, websites. Just keep exploring. Lesson 3. Focus on communication, not grammar. This is super important. Grammar is useful, yes, but it's not your starting point. You don't need perfect grammar to talk to someone. Communication is the real goal. And funny thing? The more you speak, the more your grammar improves naturally. So don't wait until you're perfect, just start speaking. Lesson 4. Be consistent. Whether it's 5 minutes a day or 1 video a week, show up. That's how progress is made. Not by big leaps, but by small, steady steps. And finally, Lesson 5. Step outside your comfort zone. Learning English isn't like studying math or science. It's not just about theory, it's about connection. You can't improve if you stay in your bubble. Talk to people, join groups, make mistakes, laugh at them, learn from them. That's how real progress happens. You don't need to be perfect to start speaking English. Just begin. Messy, broken, unsure, doesn't matter. Figure out what helps, skip what doesn't, and take one small step at a time. So now you've heard the full story. The struggles, the turning points, and the small steps that made a big difference. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this. You don't need to be perfect to start. Start with broken English. Start with hesitation. Just start. Remember, English isn't a subject. It's a tool to connect with the world. Thank you for staying with me till the end. I make these videos every day, just for learners like you, who want real stories, real lessons, and real progress. So if you found this helpful, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs this, and I'll see you again next Monday. Until then, keep learning, keep speaking, and don't be afraid to sound imperfect. That's how fluency begins.